Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Sunday, December 1st, 2019. My name is Rich, and joining me once again this week is Bijan. How you making out?
Fantastic, man. Filled up with all that turkey and goodiness from Thanksgiving. Oh, man, it was wonderful. Shout out to Sabrina, my sister-in-law. She made so much food. 3 tables worth of food this year. I was like, oh, my gosh. Let's do a potluck next year, like give her a break. But yeah, it was good times. You guys had Thanksgiving, what was it, like a month ago or a while ago? Like, how was that for you?
That was really good for us. We do not go as hard on Thanksgiving as you guys do down there, but no, it's still good here. For American Thanksgiving this year, I decided to celebrate by being all alone. My wife went and visited family and took the kids, so I've just been binging Netflix, so it's been pretty good here too. Nice, man.
And shout out to, now you just reminded me, shout out to The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. That show is so good. It features the cutest Baby Yoda I've ever seen in my life. So, yeah, watch that, man, if you haven't.
Yes, you don't even have to be a Star Wars fan to love that show. It is so good.
Oh, so good. Yeah. And, what do you call it? Black Friday, man. Like,
we celebrate that here for sure. We do. Everybody celebrates Black Friday now.
Yeah, everybody does, dude. I spent over $3,000 this year, this week. So I need to calm down, but I've got a lot of goodies here. Yeah, but most importantly of all, I'm thankful to. Let's make it a whole thankful thing. Well, why not? Thankful to all of our listeners and everybody at home. This podcast has really been wonderful, like a good retrieve from my craziness of a life, and I'm sure for you too, man. And yeah, shout out to everyone that gives us good vibes and everything, around the world.
Yes, thank you, everyone. We've been a little over 4 years now doing this. Still fun to do. Topics become a little harder in the off season, so today's episode, we're going to do what we can to make it relatively quick. We're going to cover a couple of interesting ninja tidbits we've got, and then get you on your merry way so you can recover from all the Thanksgiving madness.
That said, I mean, we've got 2 pretty big stories this week, so I was actually pretty surprised. Like, we were like, what are we going to cover today? And then I, look at my usual sources, and I was like, whoa, okay, there's some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, there is. First up, we're going to talk about the death, actually, of actor Godfrey Gao.
We're starting with that?
Yeah, we'll cover that off, and then we can kind of end on a higher note. Nobody wants.
Okay, let's be quick.
Yeah, I just want to talk about it.
This is a pretty real thing.
Yeah, when you search for Ninja Warrior right now, it comes up everywhere. He was Taiwanese Canadian, actually. He grew up in Canada.
I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah, he died on the set of a reality TV show called Chase Me at 35 years old. Very sad story. Very sad to see. And it just ties into Ninja Warrior because that's what everyone's referring to this show Chase Me as, is a Chinese version of Ninja Warrior, which
I don't know about that.
To be honest, it isn't really.
It reminds me a lot of that show that we covered earlier this year. I think it was for NBC. It could be CBS, but I'm talking about, where it was hosted by I think a basketball player. But basically the premise was there's a person and, running down the streets of, well, I'm describing the American version, but I'm talking about, Rich, where somebody was like chasing them, an athlete.
Yeah, we didn't cover it. We that was Steph Curry had a show like that. We didn't watch it though.
I watched it.
Oh, did you?
I covered it. I think it was one of those things where I covered it and you didn't.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah. It actually kind of reminded me of I don't know, almost more like Titan games, right? It was like 2 teams competing. Mm-hmm. Or maybe even like American Gladiators, because there's, like representatives from the show trying to stop them. I don't know. It really wasn't Ninja Warrior.
No. But it does involve obstacles, and it is part of, the same echelon of, things that we cover. And yeah, I mean, this guy really had a very promising career, very young, very good-looking guy. What was he? I forget the name of it, but he was like the first, I think, for Louis Vuitton, like the first Asian man cover for representative for Louis Vuitton. Like, this guy had a very promising career.
Yeah, he did for sure. He was the first Asian model to be in a Louis Vuitton campaign. He collapsed on set after working for 17 hours straight.
Oh my God.
Which I guess is normal from what I could gather about the Chinese TV and film industry. Like they do film these long hours. I mean, to be fair, like Ninja Warrior runs all night, but it's 100 competitors, right? It's not a handful of them going like full at it for so long.
Yeah. Now this isn't like he was doing like running on the show for 17 hours.
No.
Like
I didn't mean to imply that.
I
I meant that they are endurance based. It's an endurance based competition, though, not a precision obstacle based competition. So we did watch a little bit of it. I'll link a couple of the stories about this. And I don't want to be disrespectful to Godfrey and cover the full show, but we did check it out a little bit just to kind of get a sense of what it was like. So I do want to just kind of mention what we did see and our opinion on it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel bad because of everything that happened, but I'll be honest with you, the show looked really fun and entertaining. Like, it's a show that I would watch. With that said, definitely it was clear by like when at the point where, you know, the people on the show get tagged or whatever, it was scary, their exhaustion levels. Like, they were literally about to collapse.
Yeah, I don't know the background. We lose a lot of that, I guess, just from not being able to understand what's being said. So I don't know what the athletic level of the competitor was. The person chasing them's obviously an athlete. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of different pieces to it. We didn't watch the whole show. It kind of skipped through to somewhere in the middle so we could see kind of the chase part of it. That seems to be the biggest draw point.
Yeah. Very high production values. This is not a cheap looking show at any at all. I mean, honestly, higher production values than any show I've ever seen in America. The obstacles look absolutely amazing. I mean, it's really, honestly, it's a really good looking show. And to be honest with you, I mean, I do competitions all the time, Spartan races and Tough Mudders and things like that. Deaths happen, unfortunately, not usually at this age level. But, you know, exhaustion's a real thing. And most important thing is, I would say you got to know your body. But I'll be honest with you, I pushed myself so far. Like, you just, when you're in that environment, you can't not. And I'm sure this guy on TV, everything else, he really wanted to push himself. I guess I don't want to call it a freak incident, but like, what would you say to this, Rich?
I mean, we're not experts. We haven't gotten all the details on what exactly happened, whether it was a pre-existing condition or anything else that was a contributing factor. But I will say that watching it, you have to think, like, they're filming overnight. It's a grueling course with lots of big obstacles. They have teammates that have earpieces and can talk to them while they're running the course, encouraging them on and trying to drive them to push harder. And they've got somebody pursuing them, right? There's a lot of things. There's a lot of pressure to keep moving on despite, you know, what level you might be at, whether you actually are risking injury at that point. There's a lot of reasons. And with the cameras and everything else, like, I really feel like I could see how somebody could push way past their limits, which could be, I mean, makes for entertaining television in a lot of cases, but can also be very dangerous.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like I need to explain to everyone, like, this is a show, it looks like, where they're running miles throughout, like, the streets of, like, a city. At different points, there's obstacles, really grueling obstacles. One's like this upward maze where there's a bunch of like cube type things, and you got to like jump into different cubes that are probably like 5 feet. Like, imagine just doing 5 foot walls like constantly and then going down. And some were like on poles and things like that. Like, they're really grueling obstacles that really tire you out. And then back to running, you know, up and down stairs or things like that. Like, a lot of exhausting things that really push your endurance and cardio to the extreme.
You know, I kind of like Spartan Ultimate Team Challenge, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, Spartan Ultimate Team Challenge is baby compared to this. I mean,
oh, absolutely. But as far as like do an obstacle that's, you know, not necessarily a difficult, well, I guess maybe it's not totally comparable.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. I mean, once again, I would say that one of the worst experiences of my life was doing Spartan Beasts in altitude at Big Bear, and I literally had an asthma attack on the first mile because I just did not realize how bad altitude was going to be for me. And the thing is that, like this guy, I kept pushing myself and I finished the entire thing. But realistically, was that really smart for me? No, it wasn't. I mean, I could have died. Like, let's be real, I could have easily died at altitude. just pushing myself and like me taking an air, but nothing's happening. And it could be something where, as you said, this guy had a heart condition or something else. You just don't know at any age. I'm 31. I did this Spartan race when I was 29, and my heart was not getting the oxygen that it needed. It could have been the same for this guy.
Yeah, so very, very sad. Our heart goes out to his family and friends.
Yeah.
Hopefully we've had injuries. Obviously, we had a lot of injuries actually on Ninja Warrior. You'd hate to see something like this happen here, but I do feel like the endurance portion of it is kind of the big difference between the two, and I don't think we have the similar risk with ANW.
Yeah, but I mean, incidents can always happen. You just never know, man.
Well, on that note, let's turn it around because we got some good news here too.
Yeah, we got some exciting stuff happening for the future of Sasuke. I mean, for people that don't know, Sasuke 37, that's coming up, probably airing, I have to imagine, either December or January, right?
So I believe they're doing it on December 31st again this year, and if there is a Stage 4 climb, it will be live, which worked out really, really well for them last tournament, from what I understand.
It looked amazing, man. Like, it was just like thousands of people out on the streets looking over it, kind of like the ball, whatever, that New Year's ball dropping like in New York. It was an amazing visual. So yeah, and even if not, I mean, I actually like the idea of a set time every single year, kind of like a New Year's thing, probably in Japan. I mean, yeah, that's actually really exciting.
You know what else is exciting is who's competing this year on Sasuke.
Oh man, I'm
So
let's run it down.
Okay, so we'll give the bad news first, and that is that Drew, from what we understand, did not run this year in this tournament. We think probably because April is due around that time.
April is his newborn daughter.
No, April is his wife.
Oh, oh my God! My brain is mush. Sorry, guys. Yeah, duh. Sorry.
Okay, so that's the bad news. The good news is we did have two very familiar faces from America there. We had Jesse Graff and Jamie Ron both competing.
That's exciting. Like, Jamie Ron, when you think about the Japanese element of Sasuke, and just like they have characters, they're very fun. Honestly, Jamie Ron, he can go really, really far in this competition. When you think about his strengths, like Sasuke in particular is built for somebody like Jamie Ron.
Yeah, and we saw him compete on the ANW Germany course and do fantastic, right? We know he's in top shape for this. I'm really excited for him because he's been a diehard fan for a long time, and this has got to be a huge deal for him.
Yeah, he's one of the biggest fans of Sasuke and Ninja Warrior, and most importantly, this is a really good chance for him to shine. Sasuke loves characters like him, and he's going to play it up, or at least I have to imagine, and I think this is going to be a star-making thing for him. I think we are going to see Jamie Ron competing every year in Sasuke. Once they see this guy has entertainment value, how fun he is, everything about him, they're going to fall in love. Not to mention, he is a super good-looking dude. Like, the women are going to love him.
So, for those that aren't familiar with Sasuke, I mean, I think a lot of our listeners probably are at this point, but for those that may not be, it's the original Ninja Warrior from Japan, and there's one quirky element to it that I wish they would adopt here, and that is the numbering system. So there's different meanings to different numbers. In a lot of ways, the higher the number, the better. Just making it rough for those that don't follow it, I guess.
But sorry to cut you off, but just in particular, a main thing is, if you're in the 90s point, it's a number meant with a lot of prestige, any of the 90s.
So both Jesse and Jamie are in the 90s, with Jamie running at 92 and Jesse running at 98.
98 is huge. Like, 98 is really a big deal. That's usually Drew Dressel's spot. Drew Dressel usually is 99 or 98. And 98 is like top tier, year one. I don't know. It's like as top as you can go, especially for a foreign competitor. I honestly don't believe any foreign competitor will ever get 100 unless they get total victory. And yeah, that says a lot about the respect they have for Jessie Graf. She is the first woman to make it to stage 2 in Sasuke. Did she complete stage 2 in Sasuke?
She did. She went to stage 3.
Did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's fully earned. It's not like, oh, it's Jessie Graf from America, blah, blah, blah. No, she earned this, like, big time. And this is her first time back since she did that, I think, 3 years ago. But over the past few years, it was only Drew Dreshel representing Americans. So I'm glad that they're kind of opening it up a little bit more for Americans. Whatever drama, we've heard rumors of a variety of things, whatever caused that, hopefully they're easing up a little bit more and becoming a little bit more welcoming to Americans.
Yeah, very exciting times. So make sure you... Actually, we can't tune into that. I can't tell people to tune into it, unfortunately. But tune in to the news to see...
Tune into us covering it, because you best believe, y'all, that we're going to be covering that. I am so psyched. I'll have to find a way, because I'm going to be in Japan at the beginning of the year, but if we can't record from me in Japan, which, man, that might be hard depending on the Wi-Fi, we'll definitely cover as soon as I get back, because that's something I'm very much looking forward to.
That's like when we have trouble covering the Vegas finals because I'm in Vegas. It's kind of funny that it's working out that way.
Yeah, but dude, there's like, let me count here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. On Jesse's Instagram, there are 9 foreign competitors competing in Sasuke this year. Not all Americans, but like the foreign presence is pretty high, and I'm really excited for that. For one of them, I don't know this guy all too well, and shame on me if he's well known. Sam Kendricks, a world champion Olympian, first lieutenant U.S. Army, and a pole vaulter. I mean, you best believe we're going to be hearing about this dude next year on Sasuke. If not, I mean, he's sponsored by Nike. I mean, this dude is legit, dude. And he's competing in Sasuke. So that's somebody I'm really keeping an eye out on.
Cool. Yeah, something definitely to look forward to in the new year. And hopefully before the new year, we get some other news, because Jesse just posted a little teaser of a premiere for ANW Junior Season 2.
Oh, I'm so psyched. Yes! Yo, guys, I mean, seriously, if we've said it to the world, but I cannot tell you how good ANW Junior was. So I'm so excited for this coming back.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping this time around, we held off on it last time, but maybe for this season, we'll have one of the ANW Junior competitors come on to talk with us. I've been talking to one of them that is interested, so we'll see how that goes.
That's really exciting. I mean, they can tell us the ins and outs and everything about it. I mean, if anything, though, for me, I understand Universal Kids is probably their big show. We need to get it on a bigger platform. We need to get it on a bigger network. This show is way too good.
Yeah, I'm excited for Season 2. I hope they can keep up the same level that they did from this first season, and I'm sure they will. Usually, first season, you work out the kinks and figure out what's wrong with it. This is darn near perfect on the first go-around.
Yeah, I actually am very high up. I think Season 2 is going to be amazing.
All right. As we said, short episode this week. But before we go, Bijan, do we have any 5-star reviews this week?
We do, and it's a short 5-star review, but it's a 5-star review nonetheless, and I love them. So, Spence Kling, Ninja Podcast. Love it. Love you, Spence Kling! Oh my gosh, you're amazing. Thank you for the 5-star review. Shout out to you, my man. So, once again, Spence Kling, you are the 5-star review of the week. Thank you so much. Short podcast, short review, short love, but love nonetheless.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can reach us at rich@ninjapodcast.com. I am at Ninja Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
Yeah, hit me up at Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is Bijan 151. In January, you're going to see a whole lot of Japan updates and pictures and stuff. So look forward to that.
ANW submission deadline is December 6th. Get your video in.
Really, if you're even listening to this and you haven't sent it in, now is the time. Do it ASAP.
Yes. And thank you all so much for listening, and have a wonderful week.
Peace, love, and deuces, y'all.